Welcome back, my dear students, grade 3. Continuing our science lessons, we will start with lesson 3 of chapter 6, which talk about what tools are used to measure weather. In the previous lesson, we talked about weather and climate, and we know what's the difference between them. In today's lesson, we will use some tools to measure the weather. Let's start with this interesting video first to show you more about our lesson. Scientists use some tools to measure the weather. So now we can know more about these tools when we explore our today's lesson together, starting with the video.
Scientists use a number of tools to help them measure and describe weather. These tools also help them predict what the weather will be like. An anemometer is a tool used to measure wind speed. A wind vane shows the direction from which the wind is blowing. Both wind speed and direction affect the weather. A hygrometer is used to measure how much water vapor is in the air. The amount of water vapor in the air is called humidity. The humidity is low when air is dry. The humidity is high when the air has more water vapor in it. A rain gauge measures water too. It is used to measure how much rain has fallen. Most weather tools help scientists describe the atmosphere. The atmosphere is the blanket of air that surrounds Earth. The atmosphere is made up of gases that have no color, taste, or odor. These gases have weight. The weight of the atmosphere presses down on Earth. This pressing down is called air pressure. Scientists can measure air pressure with a tool called a barometer. Changes in air pressure are clues to the kind of weather that is on the way. Low air pressure often means the weather will be cloudy or rainy. High air pressure often means fair weather with sunny, clear skies. Got it? Sure you do.
So you have to know that weather describes the status of the day. It can describe also how is the wind go and how is the shape of the clouds. So scientists can use some tools to help them to measure the velocity and direction of the wind and the pressure and the temperature as well. So one of the instruments or tools that scientists use that we watched in the previous video is anemometer. So in this video I will show you a video about anemometer and how does an anemometer work. So watch this video carefully to know more about anemometer, which is the measurement or tool that the scientists use to measure the wind.
An anemometer can be used to measure the wind. Observe.
In the previous video you watched the anemometer and you know how does it work. So going to another part of our lesson, the tools to measure the weather. Scientists measure weather so that they can describe its characteristics exactly. So why scientists measure weather? To know or to describe the characteristic of the weather exactly. Is it hot? Is it rainy? Is it cloudy? Is it windy? And so on. Then people can understand what the weather is like. So scientists use many tools to measure the weather. These are the tools that help scientists to measure the weather and describe the weather as well. So they can use thermometer and wind vane, hygrometer, barometer, anemometer, rain gauge. So these tools help scientists to measure and describe the weather. So we will know in details what is the function of each instrument or tool separately in details. So starting with the thermometer, now we can know what the thermometer job or how is the what does the thermometer measure. So the thermometer, which is this, this is the thermometer. A thermometer is a tool used to measure the temperature of the air. So the first tool here is the thermometer, and it is used to measure the temperature of the air. Turning to another measurement or tool, which is rain gauge. Again, rain gauge, rain gauge, rain gauge. This is the rain gauge. We will take in detail the definition of rain gauge and how does it work. Now, the rain gauge is a measurement of how much rain has fallen. So scientists measure the rain level on the earth by using rain gauge. This rain gauge looks like a ruler, but it's in fact something like ruler. Uses to measure how much rain has fallen. Turning to another tool that scientists use to measure or describe the weather status is wind vane. Wind vane, this is the wind vane. A wind vane shows the direction from which the wind is blowing. So here is the structure of the wind vane. The arrows here and the tail of the arrows here. So when the wind is blowing, it can moves the wind vane. So we can know the direction of the wind vane, the direction of the wind from the wind vane. Turning to another tool is anemometer. Anemometer. So the anemometer here, like this is the shape of the anemometer. What's the anemometer job, or how does it work? We will know together in this slide. An anemometer is a tool that measures wind speed. So this tool measures the wind speed. Unlike the wind vane, it measures the wind direction. So this tool, which is called anemometer, this measures the wind speed. It can be used along with a wind vane to know the speed and the direction. When we use this tool and the wind vane together, so we can know easily the speed and the direction of the wind. Wind often affects the weather. So one of the changes that happen to the weather is the wind. We can use this anemometer and the wind vane to measure the speed and direction of the weather, of the wind through the weather. Another tool is hygrometer. Hygrometer. This is the hygrometer. Scientists use hygrometer to measure how much water vapor in the air. You know that water, when the sun warms the earth's water, it turns to be vapor. So this vapor go in the air and spread in the air. So this tool helps the scientists to measure how much water vapor in the air. They measure the humidity. The humidity is low when air is dry. The humidity is high when air has more water vapor in it. You can feel this condition. Sometimes we can describe the weather of the day. It's very humid, so it contains much water vapor. So this measurement, which called hygrometer, can measure the amount of water vapor in the air. Turning to the last tool here is a barometer. Barometer is a tool that scientists use to measure the air pressure. So this is the barometer, and scientists use this tool to measure the air pressure. Low air pressure often means the weather will soon be cloudy. So you have to know that this information tells you that the pressure, when the pressure of the air is becoming low, this means that the weather will be cloudy or rainy. So what do you think about high air pressure may mean? I think it mean it will be dry and clear weather. Now we need to answer this question about the tools. Which tool or tools would you use to measure wind? To measure wind, there are two tools. One of them measures the direction, and the second one is to measure the speed. So the speed and the direction. So wind van and anemometer are tools that used to measure the wind. So you can describe the weather using simple terms such as hot, cold, or windy. When you use these tools, you can describe the weather with greater detail and accuracy by using these tools, like we said. You can gather exact weather data and share it with your community. Complete the label to practice gathering 3 days of the weather data. So in this activity, I will let you to answer these questions after studying and repeat the video again. To describe this weather, how would tools help you measure the weather with greater accuracy? Here we have a thermometer, rain gauge, barometer, wind van, anemometer. So you can use these tools to answer this question in detail, please. I will let you to answer this and send to me on WhatsApp, inshallah. At the end, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you understand today's lesson. Wish you a good life, and stay at home. Allah preserves you all and our nations. See you again in next lesson, inshallah. Bye bye.